All right. Hey, everybody. So I've got a great crew here today. AnnieMac's best, I should say, not only some of the most powerful people in the industry, but man, these guys really specialize in reno and construction. And I've had the pleasure of working with all of them and seeing their growth develop over the years. And I think what's so powerful is everyone comes from different backgrounds. Everyone has been in the business at different time periods. And I really just want to get the stories out so those who are really trying to gear up and dealing with low inventory, dealing with bidding wars right now, we're all about creating our own destiny at the end of the day. So what these guys do, they're creators, and they get to do it through our renovation and construction red carpet process that AnnieMac has invested a lot of time, energy, money in getting the right people and the right seats in the bus to really help expand upon renovation and construction loans. So I'm not the expert in this arena. These guys are, so they're going to be doing most of the talking. But as we kind of guide through, I want to just quick introduce everybody. Guys, if you can just do a little wave. We got Nathan Fitzgerald in Rockville, Maryland. We've got Youssef up in North Jersey. We've got Dominic Carlucci in Central Jersey. And we got Paul James down in Florida, down in Gainesville. And also, as he has been scaling out all of their businesses, I think one of the biggest things is consistency and having access to a team that allows passing of the baton. So Nathan, for those of you that have been watching the Inside Edge, Nathan has been on a few episodes. Nathan came in, right, doing 25 million a year, maybe 2-3 years ago. Last year, he hit, I think, just shy of 95 million. The branch maybe did 120, 130 million, and on an amazing growth trajectory. And he's really adapted the HGTV swag to his business and helping his realtors build their businesses through using renovation. Nathan, for you, when you came to AnnieMac and you started using these products, what was that experience and shift like for you in your business and just having access to a platform like this?
Sure. So the whole renovation platform was a major reason why I came to AnnieMac in the first place. So a lot of lenders like to brag that they offer these products, but when all is said and done, they don't do it well. And so what I would find throughout my career is that whenever the topic of renovation came up, we would find ways to distract or dissuade the client from moving in that direction. And I always saw this as an opportunity. Someone out there is capitalizing and capturing this business, and I just never had the ability to capture that. I have a personal passion for these types of things. I do flips and things like that on the side. So this was a big, important tool for me to have. And so just coming on board and knowing that this is not just something that we offer, but this is actually something that we run towards, that was a huge value add for me just as a loan officer.
Can you share what, on the back end, who are the people we have in play? Maybe not necessarily names, or you can give shout outs, but what are the positions behind the scenes from operations standpoint and, having the in-house folks?
Yeah, so, for someone who's coming in and doesn't know much about Reno, I mean, that's part of what makes our program so strong is that we have such an amazing team behind us. So you can take someone who's absolutely green and knows very little about renovation loans, and it's not going to change the experience at the consumer level or even at the realtor level. And that's what makes it so powerful. So you can be a veteran, you could be someone who's been doing this your entire career, or you could be someone that's just getting in and the experience doesn't change. And that's one of the biggest things that I've noticed is a game changer, because from lender to lender, who you're dealing with is going to vastly change how that experience goes. And so, a lot of lenders don't like to touch it because they don't want to ruin their relationships. And that's a great way to ruin a relationship, is to just destroy that by having a terrible experience. So you know, I mean, we've got processors that are dedicated to only doing these types of loans. We've got you know, operations. We've got underwriters. We've got underwriting managers. I mean, it runs almost like its own company, and it's just, that's all that they do. So I mean, it's hard not to get good at it.
That's so cool. And shout out to Lisa and everyone else over there. They pour their hearts and souls into what they do, and we couldn't be more grateful. Nathan, what type of tools, whether it be from marketing or the BuilderWorks platform or the visualizer apps, or, you know, what type of tools are you using to go out and market that you can do these products and do them well?
Sure. So aside from being able to offer the program, I think it's a real value add to realtors. So, you know, this is a competitive market, and clients are trying to find, you know, who's the right realtor to represent them, whether it's either to sell their house or to buy the next one. And so realtors are looking for differentiation, ways that they can stand out. And so one of the things that we offer is a designation to be an expert as a renovation realtor. And so, you know, that's something that I've noticed that, you know, realtors I talk to, that is always a hot topic. It's something that they want to be a part of. And, you know, we're able to essentially educate them on the process. And again, they don't have to be the ones doing it. They just have to understand how it works. We're going to take that from start to finish, and we're going to help them be a superstar and give them that designation so that they can be the best realtor in the business doing these types of loans.
Wow. So for you, you know, how many, maybe yearly, how much of your production, what percentage is reno or construction? How often are you really doing these?
That's a great question. I need to look at my metrics. If I had to guess, probably somewhere around 10%, maybe just a tad under. I think some of that is, right now, it's a little bit, it's an industry-wide problem. We were just talking about this. The cost of materials, it just continues to climb and climb and climb. And so it makes it difficult for contractors to even properly spec out, you know, jobs. And then, you know, that may determine whether or not we can even move forward. But historically speaking, I mean, it's amazing because, I mean, their numbers are, you know, if they're a good contractor, they know where their numbers are going to be. And it's all based off of that appraised value. And when you're putting, you know, money into your house, whether it's a house you already own or it's the house that you want to own, as long as you're putting into the right areas, you're improving the value of that home dramatically. So, but yeah, you know, I would say it's probably somewhere around 10%. Something I'd like to grow more in. But what I can tell you is that it's probably a part of my conversations with my clients 90% of the time. So whether or not they actually move forward in that direction, I think one of the things that's really important is that they know that it's even an option. And right now in this market where 20 people are bidding over the same house or even more than that, you know, there aren't as many people bidding for properties that simply just can't even get financing because they're not in a good state. Or you can compete with investors. You know, investors are paying cash for those properties, but you can actually offer a higher dollar amount than maybe an investor wants to buy it at, and it's still a win for the client. So, so it just opens up the opportunities there for everyone.
And look at that, 10% of your business, if that just went away, you know, that's a large chunk. And the fact that you talk about it 90% of the time on your calls as an option, you know, that's going to create such a expansion with the impressions that you're leaving on these people of your ability and what you can do. A lot of times when I speak to loan officers out in the nation, you know, outside of AnnieMac, it's, well, why don't you do them? Well, I don't know how. My company doesn't specialize in them, or, you know, they take too much time, or, you know, it's just lack of knowledge. So Youssef, one thing that I've always appreciated as you've built your business, you know, you've been able to also offer this platform. And I think before you joined AnnieMac, you found yourself giving away these reno deals to Kevin and Landy, and Kevin's on here. Shout out to you, buddy, and Landy. The fact that you were like, wait a minute, can't beat them, join them, right? So for you, what was that process like? And how did you kind of just be able to offer all the vanilla stuff, all the normal stuff, also do Reno, which created that movement in your business. But you know what, Youssef? We're having a hard time hearing you. Let's see here.
I think he's still muted.
I just unmuted you.
All right, what about now?
Good.
All right, cool. So my first rental loan that I ever did was a 2 or 3K, and I did it back early 2014. That loan it was a purchase. It took 90 days to close, and it was like this big dramatic headache, right? And thankfully I still work with the realtor that I did that loan for. To this day. But you fast forward to last month, and last month we just closed a renovation deal here, 2 or 3K purchase in 35 days, right? So you look at, so not only has like renovation changed a lot over the years, right? And lenders have understood how to do it more, right? But we do it best, we truly do. I had gone to a company after that, and I started getting referrals for people that wanted renovation loans. And it's so funny, the realtors would actually come to me and say, they want to talk about renovation loans, talk them out of it. And I'd be like, okay, gotcha. And then I swear to God, I would see people that I would try to talk them out of it, and they'd want to stick with it, and that realtor would refer it to someone else, right? Because they just didn't want to deal with it anymore. So, they ended up being cancerous in my pipeline because, my previous company, we did them, right? And it's no disrespect to them, but we didn't do them well, right? We'd have to package it up. We'd have to overnight all the docs to one of the investors that would do it, right? And then basically wait for them to review it. And, at any given time, they would take, 60, 90, sometimes 120 days, and they would kind of just sit stagnant because, we didn't do them in-house, right? And like Nate said, it's a completely separate channel, right? When a renovation loan gets submitted to processing, it's a separate processing team. It's a separate underwriting team. It's a separate management team, right? It's a separate closer, right? So it's a whole separate channel that they take. It's still AnnieMac, of course, but it's just a fork in the road that they reach, and you're either a regular loan or, a renovation loan. And honestly, they're processed just as efficiently, which is amazing. Right now with the limited inventory, I'm seeing a lot of people regain interest in these renovation loans, because I know last year was a very interesting year, to say the least. I'm starting to have clients ask about renovation loans, and I'm starting to talk about it more, right? Hey, I know you don't really like this house, and there's some things that you want to change. How about we talk about this renovation loan and, and budget $20,000, $30,000 to redo the kitchen and the bathroom? Or, hey, why don't we actually talk about taking your current home, right? I know you don't want to sell right now. Why don't we take your current home and do a renovation refinance and add that level that you want, or add more square footage, or change this or that. So it's pretty interesting. If we had to talk about, I know, Nate, I have to look at my business too and see what percentage of my loans are renovation, but in 2017, I know it was about 15%. 2018, I know it was still around 15%. It did drop naturally because of the pandemic and limited supplies and some holdups with that. But now that things are back in swing, it's really a part of my daily conversation again. And I just love the products overall. Between the home style and the 2 or 3K, I truly feel like I have a really good grasp on them. Even if I don't, our back office really makes us look like rock stars,
I love it. Are we still doing VA renovation? Do you guys do any VA renovation loans?
No, I personally don't do any.
Okay.
I've done them, closed them here, but we're not doing it currently.
Okay, gotcha. I wasn't sure. Yeah, pouring back into the veterans is huge. And Youssef, wow, okay, 15% of your business too. And looking, again, if you didn't have that, we're looking at where we're leaving meat on the bone in our businesses, those watching this, those who are analyzing where are my areas of opportunity, where are my areas of weakness and strengths. And, I think a big takeaway for all of us is we have to lean on others for our weaknesses to be able to capitalize on our strengths, right? As we always say, a rising tide lifts all ships. And for AnnieMac, being able to pull those pieces together to, say you guys don't have to be the experts. You guys have become the experts because you do them often and you live and breathe it. But that's huge. And, flipping over the construction side, we have Dom and Paul here that really construction, their bread and butter. And I've also both done a ton of renovation loans. Mr. Dom Carlucci, You are probably one of the most passionate people I know about construction, and your knowledge is insane when it comes to, getting people in the right positions. First of all, how did you get into this in the first place? The construction.
The construction and the reno more so was from Wells Fargo. My mentor in the business, Sean Thompson, was doing renovation loans, and he would basically pay us a referral fee to do these. And they weren't that hard, and they were interesting. And I was fascinated by the fact that he said, you could have all the non-reno business in the real estate office. I just want the reno. And the office was big and vibrant, but he only went in there looking for reno. And after about 6 months of doing that, I realized I'll have him teach me. And that's what he did, 15, 18 years ago. So that's pretty much how I learned it. I didn't run from it. And to answer your question, as far as the book goes, renovation is probably 60% of my book, because I do renovation and cash out refis, one or the other. And my clientele is more contractors, architects, and developers than it is realtors per se. So my leads directly come from the guy with the truck and ladder, the gentleman that owns a big design firm, and they'll call me in the beginning and say, Short Hills, 400,000, they owe 200, go. And then I do a lot of home style that way. And we were talking about it off air, that the cost of goods is killing us right now, because it's up 40 to 45%. So projects are on hold. So I didn't stumble into reno. It just, nobody would wanted to do it. And I didn't think it was that difficult. And it was explained to me. I was lucky I had a good teacher in the beginning that explained it to me. Very, very basic. Don't overthink it. Go do this and this. Where we live in Central and North Jersey, there's over 11,000 licensed contractors.
Wow.
So it's not it's a very, very undertapped market.
Big
You don't need the biggest design developer to earn a living. You can take what I call a truck and ladder guy that shows up with 3 people. They're going to run into business. Or you can take a big design firm, which I have, which do schematics, and a person has to pay $15,000 just to get a view of an ADA level. And I've had contractors write stuff down on paper plates that I've had to turn into spreadsheets for them. So that's kind of how I learned it. I'm a street guy. I like to go out and engage. So the world opening back up from COVID 100% feeds into my wheelhouse. I'm not meant to sit in an office. It's not how I'm wired. So I'm glad
You're coming straight from the trenches. I love it.
Yeah, no, it's not my, I'm not good at it. I'm not going to sit here and lie. I can't sit there and type all day and reply to emails. I'm 55. I'm not wired that way. I'm not comfortable with it. So looking very much forward to kind of getting back out and, rubbing elbows with everybody. I think when the cost of goods go back down and the rates rise a little bit, I think it'll be a benefit, because you'll see people stop getting off the fence. There's so much refi work in the renovation space that I can't even quantify it. As prices come down, people are going to look around and go, I can't afford that new house, but you know what? My house is worth 4. I owe 3. I can still do a $300,000 ADA level. And I can roll all that in. I literally do these deals here for $1,500 out of pocket.
Wow. Tied up with a red bow.
And the back office is very, very formidable. Most of these people. I've worked with these people at other banks. So when I interviewed here and when I spoke to people, I would talk to a person who talked to a person. And then I realized it's all 6 degrees of separation. So all the underwriters, Lisa, Karen, all of them that are there, I worked with them in one way or another. We all spoke the same language. So it made it very easy to kind of jump in and go forward with it.
It's so neat because, a lot of folks focus on real estate agents, and you focused on contractors and developers and builders. And, if someone's trying to get into that niche, Dom, what's one of your biggest pieces of advice in approaching? Like, how do you put yourself out there? How do you ask for the business? How are you, getting the reward?
The best advice I had was go out and make a bunch of mistakes. And I mean that. I'm not being sarcastic. He said, go out and make a mess. My old boss told me that. He said, go make a mess. These 3 things, Go out there and start talking to people. My biggest takeaway to contractors would be this. You go into somebody's home, you show them that their $250,000 ADA level is there. They have no equity and maybe $20,000 to work with. What do you do with that deal? And he says, I walk away. I said, good, give that to me. And I just stopped. And I got my contractors used to introducing me as a banker and a project manager. I don't have him say he's the mortgage guy. He's a banker. I'll find you the money and I manage the project, not to when it closes, but to when the final draw is finished and the whole project is done. The COs are issued, everything's signed off on. That's when I leave. So my loyalty with my contractors is strong because of that. They can call me, and sometimes we don't do a reno deal. Sometimes we do a cash out refi. Sometimes people take the money out of their 401k, and I say, this is how that works, and so forth. So I don't necessarily put it in a renovation product, in a renovation suite. I put it where it goes. But if somebody was new, I would tell them to pick a bucket and just go up to the contractor and ask them that one question. What do you do when your client does not have cash and they like your project? Who do you talk to?
We're going to write that down. We've got Kurt here saying 28% of his business in 2020 was renovation loans, and he would simply ask realtors and buyers if they ever run across a home where you say, I love this home, but if so, I have the loan for you. And it's so smart, Kurt. Thanks for sharing. And, I think as we all have realized, there's just not one way to do things. And when you get outside the box, when you go and try and let's say you fail, but you fail forward and you learn from those mistakes and then you bob and weave. And, Dom, in your experience, it sounds like you've really mastered that. And I know you've passed down those teachings that people have taught you to folks like Jason Trotty and others in the business, which is so cool to see them all grow. All right. Well, Mr. Paul James, best for last. So Paul, I remember when I first met you, everybody said Paul is the construction wizard. We brought you on board as really the guy that was the specialist that was able to come in and morph and really reconstruct our process to make it better. And you've really done a phenomenal job. Can you share a little bit of the markets you serve, a little bit about your business and what you've done as far as involvement with AnnieMac? Oh, sorry, let me unmute you. I mute you guys because the feedback can sometimes be bad. Okay, go ahead, buddy.
So I don't want you to show my wife how to do that because she may want to. So anyway, just keep this secret. That's right. So my passion is construction to perm. I've been doing it for a number of years, kind of fell into it, talking to a builder, had a client that wanted to build instead of purchase. Just like Dom said, it was rough. I didn't have anyone to mentor me or help, but kind of stumbled through the first few and just loved that niche and was passionate about it, talking and spending time with the builders. And then mainly when I'm talking to a client, I'm explaining how this program works, what their part is. I answer the questions they have about their fears, and also the positive aspect of this, that they're going to get exactly what they want. I also talk about it from the builder side and his challenge and what he's going to be doing. And so that initial conversation, I can almost just see the stress release from the clients. It's a lot of fear and a lot of stress is because they don't know. They have questions, they don't know what to do, and so that just prevents them from moving forward. And by answering the questions, whether it's positive or negative, but getting those facts out there and then making a plan has probably been one of the biggest and successes I've had, with my clients. That's what they'll always tell you. And they stick with me because of that. Even if they change over to a purchase or a reno or whatever, they like the time that I spent with them explaining how this works. Almost all of my business comes from builders. It's the story I tell is I had a client one day, he came into my office and he said, I went and saw 5 different builders and they all told me to come see you. So at that point, I realized that I was supposed to be the expert. But anyway, it kind of grew from there. Everywhere I've been now in '08, it was extremely disruptive because construction basically stopped. And what I did at that point in time was switch over and became a manager for a joint venture between Wells Fargo and a manufactured home factory. So we're still doing construction of perm loans, but they were all manufactured in modulars at that point in time.
Mm.
Not going to come to an end anymore. I went back to the site build homes and started talking to AnnieMac back in 2019, and I told them, I said, no, I'm happy, and they kept talking, and they sold me. And what I love about AnnieMac's commitment is the team that they developed. They have dedicated processors, dedicated underwriters, dedicated underwriting managers, ops managers. Everyone is dedicated to the construction of perm and the Reno programs. And when you do them all the time, you become experts at that. It's not like being somewhere where the underwriter gets 1 out of every 20 loans is a Reno or a construction, and they're running back and looking at the guidelines and saying, what do I do? And making mistakes and that causing delays. Here, this is what they do. And that commitment by AnnieMac was impressive. And the fact that, we can pick up the phone, we can call people, we can get answers, and we're all talking the same language. Even if you're bringing or introducing your first deal into this transaction, knowing that everyone around you is an expert is so I think that we pass that on to the loan officers and the clients when we're talking with them and sharing with them and helping them realize their dream home. And then with construction in this environment since '08. Basically, construction almost stopped after the '08 crash, and there became a housing deficit. And the only way to get out of this is to build our way out. And we can build new construction, or we can renovate older homes and bring them back into the market. But that's the only way. And all of the data and information that I see is showing that for years to come, this product is going to be a substantial portion of the market. And we are going through a little bit of a hard time now with prices and inventory and supplies, but it will work out if we can get the workforce back to working. I think that will level out, and life's going to be wonderful in this industry for years to come. So,
Amen. Yeah, and it's cool because I see such an extension from, like as an example, we've got AnnieMac Works, which they have Builder Works. So AnnieMac Works is a real estate coaching productivity platform, and they started Builder Works because we wanted to be able to extend our reach for builders to be able to leverage our social media platform, our single property websites, our visualizer app, really creating that connection. So where you guys don't just get to sit there with your hands out asking for business, I'm going to give to you guys. I want to show you how we can help you build your business and becoming that strategic partner, which is brilliant. And shout out to all those who were involved in that. Are you guys tapping into the Builder Works at all? Have you been able to leverage? I know Nathan and Youssef talked about the real estate certification classes inside of Works. Have you really dabbled into the Builder Works at all? Paul or Dom?
Okay, I'm still on. Okay, so yes, I have some. I've introduced that to a couple of my builders, and they are, they're excited about it and, getting used to it. But any advantage you can give, and when you can give back to your referral source, it's something you need to take advantage of, and you need to educate and help, push those products and showing that you care, that I'm not only receiving, but I'm willing to give back. And this is an absolute way to do that.
Amen. Nathan, Youssef, anything you guys want to add on the construction front? Because I know you do those loans as well. Anything from tying into going out and prospecting for this business or within the customers, the education front? Anything you want to add? Oh, let me unmute you. I feel like I'm in school. It's like, okay, now you're allowed.
We're good now?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So I'll be honest, I never really did anything construction-wise until earlier this year, where we kind of pulled it out and got a little bit more familiar with it. I will say there's a huge benefit to the red carpet we do up front, right? Because on that red carpet call, not only is the consumer learning, right, but we also allow the contractor to be on the call. We allow the realtor to be on the call as well if they would like to be. We allow, of course, some home buyers are very heavily involved with their parents contributing to it, right? So the parents want to know what they're doing, especially if they're contributing financially or co-signing for anything, right, or being on a mortgage with them. So, that upfront red carpet renovation, red carpet construction call is so key because we set the expectations, right? What they can expect of us, what we can expect of them. And it's just so helpful, especially when the contractor is able to talk to us, talk to our back office constantly and just communicate directly with us, not through the actual client themselves, because that can lead to frustration. So instead of us asking for something from the client to get from the contractor, we very often just go straight to the source because we are so confident in our ability to process these loans and get them done in a timely manner.
That's powerful. So I guess for you guys, into 2021, and we're in a little bit of a different market. We've talked about materials and slowing, a little bit of the slowdown process, and as soon as things pick back up again, for you, have you guys set goals around your rental and construction business and kind of how much you guys want to do, area attack? Dom, I know you're attacking the video world and you're going to be recording some of these projects you're doing live. Anything you guys want to share regarding that? And I'm going to unmute you all.
Yeah, so I think a key opportunity here, to kind of tap into that market, and Dominic, you kind of confirmed this as well as you, Paul, is where's the referral? Where's that main key referral source? And I think that the contractors themselves are a big referral source. Whereas maybe most loan officers are very focused on realtors. And that's certainly a referral source, but maybe the better opportunity is in developing relationships with contractors and with builders. And so a lot of that's really just about creating awareness. And so, in terms of my own personal plan, that's part of my plan every single week is to engage in conversations with contractors and builders and making sure that they know that they have an option and an outlet, and then to create some education around that.
It's amazing. And I think too, when you're consistently doing that week over week, day over day, it's the compound effect, right? It's going to continue to grow regardless. And when you surround yourself with the right people, they're going to want to pour into you just as you're pouring into them. And you build this trusty advisor group of professionals. And you do want to work with the best of the best. And you do want to really recognize those people. And I see you all doing that through social media, through certifications, through elevating them and getting them on stage. I'd love to see you all doing your own Facebook Live soon and interviewing these people. Dom, you want to quick share what's with the videos inside of what you and G have been doing?
We're working on a lot of the projects that I have now. Some of them ended up stopping just because of the cost of materials, but a lot of them are now back in play. I have a project in Warren that it's an $800,000 deal that we put through, and they're in the draw stages now, and they just poured the foundation. I was there when they knocked the property down, so that was back in February, and I did it with the contractor and his daughter just on my phone, and they were knocking it down as we were talking, and now they poured the foundation. So we're going to start going back out periodically to put all this together. So all of my contractors have been very, very receptive to do the before, after. I go to the closing. We do a little snippet at the closing. That's 30 seconds. Then when they're starting the renovation, we get to it. And then at the finished product will be the family in the home, that type of thing. So it's, it takes a little while to put these together. And COVID really threw a monkey wrench in a lot of how people were communicating because nobody was doing Zoom in the contractor space. So we did a lot of stuff with Metro Builders. I belong to a bunch of different builders associations, and that's a great way to get business in your area. So I belong to Metro Builders, and it's 300,000. It's 300 contractors for renovators right there. And there's 3 other bankers, and we don't bump into each other. There's that many people. There's that many contractors that need professional advice on how to fund these jobs, because nobody pays cash, 100%. They don't. So especially when they find out that they can finance it. So for me, COVID being over, 3 to 4 times a week, I've got to be in front of somebody explaining to them how I can help them get more business just by giving somebody my number. Short, sweet, to the point. But yeah, I'm excited that it's, for lack of a better word, turned back on, that the economy's starting to move again and people are out again because there's traffic, which is how I noticed. So that's how that works.
Isn't it crazy how before and after can look like overnight success, and it's just so much goes into it. But when you can really create that timeline and show, what can be manifested, and think about it, the buyers, they're just waiting for it to be done, and the rest is taken care of for them. That's huge. Well, I love how you guys are opportunity chasers. You go and create it. You clearly are generators and manifestors and visualizers, right? Because you got to kind of have all 3 to be able to see and paint that vision, because there's some people that it's very hard to see a vacant building and you're just looking at it like, well, what could this be? Or grass, right? This is a whole extension that we can build. And what does the buyer do? They go and make memories in that. So I love it. You guys are fantastic. I'm so grateful for your time. I know you're very busy entrepreneurs, hustling, grinding it out. And I'm proud of all the work you've done. And it's an honor to be here with you guys today. I always love to end the Inside Edge with picking one word that describes your life today, your year, a goal that you're currently pursuing, or a yearly goal, a monthly goal. First word that comes to mind in your lives. Nathan, I'm going to put you on the spot first.
Oh, wow.
What comes to mind?
What comes to mind for 2021?
Yeah.
The word that came to mind was production, but probably not in the sense that you're thinking. I mean, it's Reno's just such a passion of mine. So that's, whether it's in my personal life or whether it's in my clients' lives. So I love to produce and to build, whether that's in the form of a loan or being able to see that project materialize. So. Yeah. And
also production comes with new staff, and congratulations on your new hire inside of the business development world, which we'll be working together. That's huge. So cool. All right, Youssef, you up.
Word. And it's funny, I never thought of it previously, but it'd probably just be the word achieve, right? Because by achieving different things, right? Helping someone achieve home ownership, helping realtors achieve having a smooth transaction, achieve a smooth closing, achieve their goals, achieve my goals. That's really the word that comes to mind. And I really don't feel, I think the most that I've ever felt, like my biggest achievements, I guess you could say, right, would be probably closing these renovation loans and seeing the after, right? With the refi boom, I noticed that my renovation loans, specifically the ones that I closed previously that were Reno loans, those people had the most equity and have now had an opportunity to either sell their home, pay off all of their debt, and buy their next dream home or forever home, or simply do a cash out refinance or take advantage of that equity in some way, shape, or form to change their lives.
And the word achieve, congratulations again. I know this wasn't like yesterday, but you achieved a beautiful engagement with your beautiful fiance. And I know she's a big part of those goals. So congratulations.
Thank you. So I'm a full-time loan officer and now wedding planner as well.
Maybe you can give Gersino some tips.
Him and I need to have some tips and possibly share a drink.
Deal. All right, Dom, how about you, buddy? What's your word?
I guess normalcy, just to try to return to normal. I don't want to oversimplify it, but that's it. I'm a routine kind of oriented. I draw on my Navy background. I was in the Navy for a while, so I like kind of a system of doing things. And COVID threw a monkey wrench in and we had to adapt, but it's a return to normalcy. It's a return to, for lack of a better word, grinding it out, getting up, knowing what you're doing, making a business plan and attacking it every day. And that's what I am craving and getting back to, is just being able to go to work, which our business is a contact sport and it can't be Zoom forever. I'm glad that that part of it is mercifully winding to a close for me personally.
Mm-hmm.
I got really good at playing solitaire, spades, Tetris, but I could not focus on those aspects of it. And I was terrible at it because I'd look over here, I'd look up, and everybody'd say, knucklehead, stare straight at the screen, you're not doing it right. And I had no interest in learning to do it right either, which is, but normalcy is really what that's kind of the word, to just get back to that routine of speaking to people, planting all those seeds about what it is we actually do and how well we do it. So that's kind of what I would say is my main focus.
I love that. I think so many people can agree. And, your militant background has paid you dividends in the future of look where you're at in your business today. And, I think all of us sometimes can say we need to be more disciplined, but also giving ourselves grace because we are human and we all are going through it together. So I like that word a lot. All right, Mr. Paul James.
Yeah, mine is just freedom to dream again. It's, coming up last year, even though we're in Florida and we were kind of open, it is such a relief to be able to just to get back to, 100% of what we were doing before and have clients that are willing to come in and sit down and work with us and put their dreams together and help fulfill those dreams. So just that freedom is just makes you appreciate things that you took for granted in the past. So I want to, just make sure I always do appreciate what we do have and how blessed we are.
Amen. Yeah. And man, I'll say we definitely have a whole new level of appreciation. I could not agree with you more. And, freedom to dream. Think about it. That's what you guys do every day. You make the dream possible. So, all right. Well, that's a wrap. Another amazing Inside Edge. Thank you. I have so much respect and joy for all of you. Until next time, friends, if you're watching this, you want to pick these guys' brains, I have them on my social media. You can just connect me directly. I will connect you with them. Real estate agents, contractors, developers, loan officers. We're an open book. So thank you all and have a beautiful rest of your day.
Great. Thank you.